heard your cries, Coogan Nation, but too much of a good thing is bad for your health. So we're only doing this once a week. Buckle up, baby. It's time for ETN. Brought to you by All Pro Roofing on 1010XL.
All right, here we go. ETN. Wayne is our guest, Coogan Judge. Is Wayne procured what we gave out yesterday?
That is correct.
Oh, what was that?
That is our prize for the week. That's a pair of tickets to see Chris Stapleton
Big one there.
October 13th
Well,
down at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena.
I mean, if you're a Chris Stapleton fan, I don't need to remind you of the victory song that could be just a scant 10 minutes away, Beef. I'm just saying, it would seem like some symmetry here, but I've been known to screw that up, too.
Hello, Wayne.
Hello, Wayne. Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you guys?
We're
Good.
doing great.
Excellent.
Thanks for being the judge. You know how the game is played, correct?
Well, I'm confused. Am I supposed to call it the winner or the loser?
That's your choice.
Yeah, you can say either way.
Yeah.
Either way, quite honestly. Have fun with it.
Yes. It's your world, Wayne. We're just living in it.
It's Wayne's world.
Round
Hey.
one.
Hey now.
Game on! Round one.
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of hand-wringing and, Zapruder film level analysis going on over Aaron Rodgers' cryptic social media post in which he thanked his woodland nymph ex, Shailene Woodley, and then moved on to his seemingly ex-teammates, maybe, as he used a lot of past tense verbiage in describing his friends from the QB room as well as his Friday night crew. So are we overanalyzing it, or does this seem like a farewell from number 12?
No, I don't think we're overanalyzing it. I think social media is just the perfect complement to the narcissist athlete. What a narcissist this guy is. Puts out this public thank you and love to these guys that he's got their number in his phone. It's called a group text. It's the way normal human beings communicate. They don't virtue signal their Instagram post of great love and joy toward their comrades. He should be required by contract now to leave. Because if you say that publicly like that, then your only excuse for it is if you are indeed giving public kudos to a group of people. What a drama move.
I don't think that he should be condemned to leave. However, reading into it, it does seem like he's saying goodbye. The only caveat I'll throw in there, though, is this guy is so quirky, man. There's no telling what he's going to do. But like I said in downtime, I promise you today, management from the Pack have called an emergency get-together at about 8:30 a.m. To sit there and try to scratch their heads over what in the blazes all this means.
Yeah, drama move, loser Dan.
Round two.
Commitment to the bit. I respect it, Wayne. Round two. The gang over at Bleacher Report, Dan and Jeff, went one by one through the NFL teams and identified their, what would be the best fit for them as a trade target in this offseason. For the Jags, they identified a high-risk, high-reward move to get Michael Thomas from the New Orleans Saints. Now, Thomas only appeared in 7 games in 2020, did not play last year, but did set the NFL reception record in 19 with 149. So what would you be willing to sacrifice and part with to acquire Michael Thomas?
I would be willing to trade one of my receivers and a third-round pick to get Michael Thomas. That's what I would be willing to give. There is you mentioned risk-reward, and there is a lot of risk to getting Michael Thomas. We're basically talking 2 years absence, but a good football player. But he's not like a game breaker, but he's a heck of a possession receiver. So I'm not gonna give up everything, but I'll give you the top. I'll give you one of my third-round picks, either 65 or 70. I'll even give you the top one, and I'll give you one of my receivers, LaVisca. There you go. Boom. Give me Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I'm not giving you a receiver. I'll give you a third rounder, and that's it, because I'm taking his $25 million a year off with a really, really big risk reward. And if I'm the Jags and I'm sniffing out potential, trade opportunities, I think I'm going to look somewhere other than a 29-year-old that's played 7 games the last 2 years, and by the way, is in a bitter, acrimonious, feuding place with his current team. It just has all the makings for a classic Jaguar blow-up-in-your-face big move.
Loser JP.
Round three.
Round three.
Son of a bee sting.
Firmly planted on the bubble, the Florida Gator basketball team returns to the court tonight, taking on Arkansas. 7 o'clock tip on 10:10 a.m. and ESPN2. As ardent followers of the Gator basketball team, where's your tournament confidence level at this stage?
Wow, that is a tremendous way of wording it, because I don't know if confidence is the right word to describe your standing right now with Florida basketball. I mean, it's so up in the air from one game to the next. Tonight's another perfect example of that. Florida really cannot play a game where they don't get both of the following: an aggressive, authoritative inside game from Colin Castleton, and one of these outside guys hits 5 or 6 threes. That's the game plan for Florida to beat a good basketball team. And I have slight confidence that they'll beat Arkansas or Kentucky. I do. I had the confidence that they would beat Auburn, and that played out. But I also don't have the confidence to tell you for sure they'll win at Georgia and Vandy. And that kind of sums up where this Gator basketball team is with a few to play. If I had to go one way or the other, I'll take the track record of Mike White being in this position a couple times the last 4 years of finding his way into the tournament, even if it takes winning a couple in the SEC tournament.
I'm going to tell you why my tournament confidence is dashed. It's dashed because after the win against Auburn, the glorious victory against War Damn Eagle, I find out that, well, that's okay, but you got to do it again on Tuesday. Well, this team is not going to beat the team that just beat Auburn as won 10 of 11. They're just not that. They're not good enough. And it's for people to expect Florida now to go back-to-back, I mean, I don't know what happened. All they told me is you got to get one of these wins against Auburn, Kentucky, and Arkansas. Well, mission accomplished. They beat the number 2 team in the country. And then I understand as long as you beat Georgia and Vandy, you're in. But apparently that's not the case. Now you're telling me I got to go get another one of these wins. Good gracious, man. We barely beat Auburn. We were hanging on by a thread. I love Mike White, but my gosh, this team is not very good this year. So I don't have a lot of confidence at all.
Loser Dan.
Round 4.
Round
Duty.
4.
Duty!
Round 4.
Language.
We had, it's much better than 15 minutes yesterday. We had a good 5 hours of sit down between the baseball owners and the players. Not anywhere near a deal now. Spring training is delayed. Opening day is still penciled on the calendar, but that certainly seems in doubt. Where, speaking of confidence levels, are you at as far as getting at least some sort of substantive baseball season?
No. We'll have a baseball season, but I have no confidence at all they'll work something out this week. None. Zero. I can't stand either side. It makes me nauseous to think about it. It smacks a little bit of Mickelson in my world. It's like the greed and and they try to present themselves as do-gooders on both sides, and they're both full of crap. And the bottom line is we're all rich. How do we split up the pie? Let's figure it out, and then we move on. It's not that hard. Really, it should take 15 minutes. But they try to come up with all these loopholes and hooks and stuff. It's embarrassing for the sport, and I hate that we're even talking about it. Pitchers and catchers should be there right now, and they're not, so it bothers me.
Wayne, listen, my man, if you want to watch some baseball, we'll get a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper, a 12-pack of Miller Lite, and you come on over to the house because today we're going to watch Game 4 of the NLCS. Don't miss the thrilling comeback by the Atlanta Braves as they beat back the Dodgers, take control of the NLCS, and then tomorrow, we'll go Game 3 of the World Series. That was the one that I was actually at, Wayne, and I can describe to you the great emotion and intensity and just warmth that I felt from watching the Atlanta Braves win Game 3 of the World Series. I've got the entire NLCS and World Series on DVR, so if anybody's itching for baseball, come on over.
Holy cow, I am on a buzz from the Braves winning, but that's pure pandering, and I got to go loser Prosser.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, you just killed the Braves.
Round 5.
Don't know why you would kill the Braves that way.
That's tough. And
that wasn't pandering. That was an offer, and it's been rescinded, Wayne. You take the Dr. Pepper, leave me with the Miller Lite.
Yeah, speaking of spring sports that we're not getting, we're not getting any spring football this year, but we're going to get some next year with the third iteration of the XFL taking flight in 2023. They announced yesterday that they had reached some kind of agreement with the NFL to serve as what's being called a petri dish for the league to try out new rules, new gear, and to break in officials and coaches. Does that give you any more confidence that this iteration of the XFL and spring football will be any more successful than its predecessors?
Let me explain to you what's happening here. The NFL doesn't like the USFL. Pretty clear what this play is. XFL's coming in next year. Yeah, let's put this little USFL out of business for the second time in our life. These training grounds for equipment officials, give me a break. There is absolutely no value that playing spring football is going to give the NFL and its training, its experience, or anything else. There's a million ways to find a player. College football will and always is the number one place to find them. And I just kind of interpret this of just trying to put a little bit of a kick in the ribs to the USFL, who apparently is in the same standing with, quote, the Petri dish.
Here's the problem with the spring football leagues. There's not enough good football players. All right, there's just not enough. The NFL, with all their teams and all their roster, that fills it up. So there's not any slipping through the cracks. But I will say this about the NFL's backing of the XFL: that there is some work that can be done. You can train some officials. You can try some things out. You can see how those things play out. Any kind of ideas that you want to try. If you want to say, okay, instead of an onside kick, we're going to give you a 4th and 14 opportunity, or things along those lines. I think that's not a bad idea whatsoever, and that will be intriguing. But spring football is spring football. It's only going to work if a league like the NFL backs it. Otherwise, it's just going to go pony up because people just don't watch football in the spring. It's been proven how many years? Forever.
Winner, Jeff Prosser.
Thank you.
That was coming.
Appreciate it, my man. Offers back on. Bring the Dr. Pepper back over. We'll go Game 4 of the World Series. That's back-to-back for Dan's.
What are the probables there, Jeff?
Thank you. Do you have all Wayne's information?
I do.
You didn't get that 3-digit code on the back of his credit card?
I did, and I need it.
Okay, good. Hickens throwing things. Anger is
bad. Please don't break the iPad. I'm liable for that.
Super Tuesdays just devolving for him. Why would you throw away a full bottle of water, too, by the way? It's not very environmental on Super Tuesday. You know what today's date is, by the way?
Yes.
It is Super Tuesday.
It's a palindrome day.
2/2/22.
Yeah.
We'll never see that again.
Shout out and happy birthday to Q101. It's his birthday.
What up, Q?
Happy birthday, Q. We're back with more. It's Catlin Truck Accessories Tuesday on The Drill.